Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. My name is Jordan and today I'm going to show you how you can transform your soil health in under 21 days. Let's go. So in today's video, I thought I would take you through exactly how I improve my soil, either in between crop cycles or alongside our crop cycles. Now, of course, we are talking about cover crops and the amazing ways in which they can seriously improve our soil health very quickly. And we're going to obviously be using the number 2 blend here from the Shed Organics that I have put together, but you can use any kind of blend. You can source your own seeds and you can create yourself an amazing cover crop mix that will do wonders for your soil. Now, why does this matter? Why do we need cover crops, or why would we like to use cover crops in the garden? Now, obviously, you can see here there are many different species that are growing in this bed. This is the number 2 blend that I've been using, and I've planted this less than 2 weeks ago, and you can already see that it is coming up beautifully well. Now, why are cover crops important? When we're choosing a cover crop blend, like in the number 2 blend, we're using a nice mix of different species for various different reasons. Nature loves diversity, and when we use diversity in a cover crop mix, like the one that you're seeing here, we're going to improve the soil in many different ways at once. Now, the first group that we are talking about in cover crops are grasses. Grasses are wonderfully fast growers, okay? They provide beautiful organic matter very quickly and can often provide a bit of a mulch layer and ground cover very, very fast. Grasses are also very good at preventing soil erosion. So if you are in a position where your soil is being washed away regularly by heavy rains, then grasses are going to be your best friend. They're really good at providing those fibrous roots in the ground to stop all of that topsoil being washed away. Another awesome inclusion in our species of cover crop are legumes, and legumes are wonderful nitrogen fixers. You may have heard of the 3 sisters method, whereby people grow their peas and beans up their corn. This is providing nitrogen straight away to those heavy feeders that need it. It can be an awesome interplanted species whereby you have a main crop and you have things like our clover that are providing nitrogen to the species in an understory very, very rapidly in a very symbiotic way. So we love our nitrogen fixers, we love our legumes, and they are a wonderful inclusion in the cover crop blend. The next amazing species in our cover crop mix that is shown to improve your soil are brassicas. Now, brassicas are wonderful because they usually have a wonderfully deep taproot. This taproot can go in and break up your compacted soil and can allow for deeper water penetration. They are also natural biofumigants, which means they naturally suppress pests and disease. And who doesn't want that? Now, lastly, but certainly not least in our family of cover crop species, we have our non-legume broadleaves. And I've brought you over to the greenhouse to show you a reasonably wilting version of some buckwheat. Now, I'm wilting away in the heat as well, so I'm going to need to get some water on these guys very, very soon. But this is a wonderful species that is a very fast-growing species, providing extremely quick soil coverage. They also provide our organic matter extremely quickly as well. They're a flowering species, so they bring in some wonderful pollinators that can come into the garden. And also, they are incredible self-seeders, so you won't need to plant any again once you let them go to seed. Now, before I go and show you exactly how to plant cover crops and how I went through the process of preparing my beds for cover crop, I want to tell you a little bit about why we use so much diversity in our cover crop mixes. Apart from all those wonderful benefits that I just went through before with breaking up compacted soil, adding organic matter, and fixing nitrogen, we also like to use a variety of species because they attract different beneficial microbes in the soil. So every different species down in the root zone is trading resources, trading sugars from our photosynthesis, trading with these bacteria and microbes in the soil. They are attracting different microbes And various different microbes can provide different benefits in our soil. The more, the merrier. The more diversity, the more nutrients that we're going to have available to our plants, the more resistant they're going to be to pests and disease, and then the healthier our soil is going to be, healthier food, which means healthier us. So now that we've gone through the benefits, I'm going to show you exactly how I plant my cover crop seeds. Now, this bed in question, right in front of me, that we're about to top up with some cover crop, I've already gone through the process of preparing this bed. Now, what I did was mix through, and you may have seen this on my other videos, so go back and have a look. You mix through the top knuckles of your fingers through the soil, just to break up and loosen that very, very top part, especially if you haven't used the garden bed for a little while. It can be really beneficial to add in some worm castings or some fresh, high quality compost at this point as well. Next, we're going to take our cover crop mix. Now, you can see the diversity in here in the seeds and in the species on the front. If you want more information, of course, there is going to be a link in the description below. But remember, you can make your own, so you do not have to buy from me, and I would love to empower everybody to know how to make their own cover crop mixes at home. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of this mix to the bowl here. You can see all of these wonderful species. Look at that. That's so amazing. This mix has 60% clover, so 60% of our nitrogen fixers, as well as plenty of legumes. We've got plenty of brassicas, and we also have our grasses. Once we've got them in the bowl and there's enough there to really have a good go on this garden bed again, I'm going to introduce some mycorrhizal fungi mix. Now, this one's from Nourish Me Organics, and I will link that in the description below. But again, there are plenty of products out there that you can find that do a wonderful job of providing us mycorrhizal fungi. So, why mycorrhizal fungi? Now, they are crucial for developing a symbiotic relationship with our seeds at the contact in the soil. A fungal relationship at the soil root really helps to transport all of those nutrients and get exactly what it needs from the soil. So we're starting that relationship right now with the seeds. So we're going to dust a little bit over these seeds, and we're going to mix them through with our fingers. So a little bit of the dust there. We don't want to go too crazy. It probably was a little bit much than I needed, but we're going to go in there, look, have a little mix with our fingers, and we're coating all of these seeds in this mycorrhizal fungi mix. Let me show you. So we're mixing away and making sure all of these seeds are evenly coated in this mycorrhizal mix. You can see the gorgeous diversity in there as well. And we're going to add it to this bed. This has already had some cover crop in it, but due to the intensity of the heat over the last few days, we want to top it up with a little bit more. So this is exactly what we want it to look like right here, with a little bit of powder all over the seeds, just coating the outside. Again, like I said, that's probably a bit too much, but it's still going to make for wonderful soil health. You can still see that there's quite a few species popping up and a few seedlings still coming through all the way down the bottom. So it may take a little while for some of the species to come through underneath, but you're going to get this beautiful mixed variety of species popping up at different times, doing exactly what they need to do. So as I said, this bed has already had cover crop in it. So if we were to have it before, I would have mixed the soil on the soil surface, included a bit of compost or worm castings in that mix, the number one blend as well. Remember, we can't forget that, some minerals and organic amendments. Then we're going to get our beautifully covered seeds, and we're going to just cast them all over the soil bed here. Remember, nature isn't precise when it spreads its seeds. It just goes and spreads them everywhere, whether it's through birds, whether it's through the wind. We're not worrying about specifically planting seeds in a certain spot. Nature loves to just throw them all around, so that's exactly what we're doing here. There's a few left. I'm going to transfer them over to the next bed. So again, remember, we're just going to be broadcasting these seeds. Nature doesn't like to plant things in rows and in nice orderly fashion, so we're just coming in here and spreading it all over the place. You can see all of that gorgeous mycorrhizal fungi mix going all over everything as well. So when that gets watered in, which we're about to do in a second, we're going to get some extremely good benefits straight away. I'm also going to use this opportunity to introduce you to a couple of products that you might also want to add. Now, this is just a shout out to some amazing people providing amazing products here in Queensland. But again, you can source your own, you can even make your own of these products. Okay, there's so much that I want to do in my life, so I'm quite happy buying from people who are very, very good at this. But again, you can make your own, and I really want to empower you with the knowledge to do so. We have the wonderful Cam from Organic Ferments who just joined us on the podcast. His link will be in the description below for you to find that podcast talking all about ferments. Now, this is one of his ferments here. This is called the Sleepy Milk. This is Insect Frass Ferment. Now, you can see I'm nearly out because I love this product, and a little bit of this in your watering can or in your pressure sprayer is going to do wonders for the microbes that we add in with all of our nutrition into this cover crop mix. Another shout out goes to Red Soil Organics, providing this fermented biodynamic extract, this FBE. This is another wonderful product providing an enormous boost of microbes exactly when we need it. And finally, another product from Red Soil Organics up in Gympie. This is the Tidal Wave. This is a fermented kelp. Now, kelp has some impressive trace minerals and some wonderful ways that it can boost fertility straight away. So if you want to add a little bit of this when you are watering in your seeds, it's also going to really, really help. As I said though, you do not need to do any of this. You can just simply water in, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So this bed, you can see already has been here for 2 weeks and is growing beautifully well, despite some of the really warm days that we're still having, including today. So I'm just going to give this one a water. It's got some beautiful coverage in there, and we're going to continue to let this grow up for another week before we come and chop and drop it, which we'll talk about in a second. This bed here, we've done some topping up today, so we're going to do some watering. So I'm going to get my trusty hose link out here, do it with one hand, and we're going to water away a nice even layer, watering in that mycorrhizal fungi and of course our new seed mix into that top layer of soil, and hopefully get some wonderful germination over these next few gorgeous sunny days. And of course this next bed as well, remember this one is being topped up. We didn't get as good germination because these two beds tend to be in the sun a little bit more than that first one I showed you, even though that is the one in the sun right now at this time of day. So a nice even coverage of water and trying to get it all the way around, coating those seeds and making sure that mycorrhizal fungi mix is well mixed in to the soil. So last thing before I go and water in this bed behind me as well, we're going to talk about terminating your cover crop and when might be a good time to do that. Now, there is a balance, okay? What are your goals for your cover crop? Are you wanting a lot of organic matter, or are you wanting a quick turnaround in between crops, which gives you a boost of fertility quite quickly? This, within 2 weeks, you could already terminate. You could chop and drop, whereby we come and chop just above the soil surface and put and flatten down all of that organic matter on top of the soil. What that does is provides us with a mulch layer and allows that cover crop to start being worked through and turned into food. Now, if you wanted to, you could let it grow up even higher. You could increase that organic biomass, and you could use that as an even larger amount of mulch if you've got the time and if that is your goal. Remember, the larger the crop as well, the further down our roots are going too. So if you're after breaking up some of that compacted soil, it's probably a good idea to wait until week 3 or week 4 before terminating. You can see when I water it, it's flattening down all of the canopy layer of this cover crop and making it go across the soil level there as well. What you can do is come along with your hands or your feet and stamp down some of this cover crop so that we're grabbing our hands and we're pushing it down. We're somewhat mimicking a cow or an animal that comes through and treads down on some of this cover crop. Now, some of it will break and die and turn into organic matter, and some of it will keep growing up through as well. So a really good way of continuing on cover crop and also trying to mimic our natural cycles out in nature. So if you're ready to seriously boost your soil health and fertility, give cover crops a go. If you want to find any of the products mentioned in today's video, you'll be able to find them in the description. Remember, you do not need any of these products. You can go and source them and make them yourselves, but there are wonderful companies out there doing it. You can use cover crops on any scale, from a small scale balcony where you're growing in pots and containers all the way up to full-scale agricultural farming. There is no place where cover crops aren't going to help your soil thrive. So remember, in under 21 days, we can improve our soil by up to 70%. So get started on cover crops today, and let me know in the comments if you have used cover crops before, what species you have used, and if they have been helpful for you. Please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'm very excited to see you on the next video. Thank you very much, and bye for now.